Boom, everybody, thanks for coming back, tuning in to the Drop Off Podcast. I got my boy, Justin Beck. Round of applause for my guy, Justin, thank you for coming and sitting down with the boy, man.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. I appreciate it. You got your little vapey pen?
Oh, yeah, we good.
Vape up, dog.
Okay.
Vape up. Get in your zone. Get in your zone. Do you need to get your drinks? You want to bring your drinks over here? You good?
You want to grab some drinks? Let's grab some drinks.
Bruh, it's cool. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Quick break. Needed beers. Okay. All right. So, Justin, my man, first of all, thank you again for coming through. Appreciate you.
It's a pleasure.
So, let's get started, man. So, how did you become a UPS driver? How did that happen?
Okay, so I was just working at the car wash, my first job.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was cool. It was smooth. I was young, but it was smooth.
You young now.
Still.
I ain't going to tell people your age, but you young now.
Well, yeah, but it was cool, but I was working two jobs, and I was living with two other drivers.
Okay.
I was living with Travis and Christian.
Okay.
And
didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, we lived together for a good little bit, and I was seeing, they were drivers already. They were in the warehouse for a minute, and I was working two jobs at the car wash and up at Mount Charleston Lodge.
Oh.
Yeah, I was washing dishes in the afternoon. And so I was doing the two jobs, right? And they would come home on a Friday and show me their check. And I was like, bro, I'm not making that in 2 weeks at both jobs. I was like, I got to get in.
Mm-hmm.
So they took me 9 months to get in the warehouse.
Okay, it's not bad.
It was still kind of rough, just trying to get a call back, but
it is difficult to get in there to get responses back.
Right,
that part is true.
And then, but once I got in the warehouse, it was peak season, and I was one of the 4 or 5 of us that they kept after peak, and since then I was like, oh, I need that driver money.
I want to know about the car wash.
The car wash.
I want to know about the car wash.
Car wash was smooth, bro.
What was it, a Fab Freddy's?
Yep.
So
I started there. I started there when I was 16.
Okay.
Just washing cars, and then at right before I turned 18, I became a supervisor, a manager.
Oh.
So, dude, and it was insane. We was knocking cars out, but the tips were cool.
Mm-hmm.
And man, the people that would just come through the wash, it's insane, man. These chicks are coming through the wash, which just ask for you personally. Oh, dude, it was great.
Oh, so you were the man up there.
Oh, it was awesome.
That's what you're telling me. You were the man up there.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but
listen, I love Fab Freddy's because it's just so many incredible young ladies that be up there. They can't wash a car for shit. But
they can't.
They can't. But they just to look at, hey, yeah, just don't even, just do the best you can. Just let me watch you, though.
You said, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's incredible. Okay. All right. So that's a common story for a lot of people that start doing this job. What the job is,
mm-hmm.
Delivering packages and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really think too much of it. Just all right, man, it's just dropping off some boxes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it usually takes either somebody or being in the warehouse, and then you cool with a driver, and then they bust open that check, and you get to see, and you be like, hold up, dog.
Yep.
What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that number so high for what you do?
What threw me off a little bit too was pulling up to some OGs' houses
mm-hmm.
that I knew between family, friends, and whatnot. And I was like, what do y'all do?
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, we drive for UPS. I was like, there ain't no way.
Ain't no way your house look like this, bro. Dropping off a box? Yeah, it's crazy. On my last episode, I talked about how I put up on Steve. I delivered to Steve's house. And I was like, no.
Steve O?
Yeah. I was like, no. You got to explain some more to me right now. I don't understand, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't look like, this isn't regular, to say the least.
Does he stay on your route?
No, he stays in the Northwest somewhere.
Okay.
But I rolled up on him. I'm like, this is just immaculate. I couldn't fathom, because I'd already been driving for a little bit, a year and some change.
Right.
So I didn't understand topped out money yet. I only understood like, you know, what you get as like a beginning driver. So it hadn't crept into my mind yet, like the compounding effect of such large checks over and over and over and over and over. I was like, oh.
Yeah, 'cause it don't stop.
It don't stop.
Yeah,
they just keep coming every Friday like clockwork, right? So how long have you been driving?
I'm driving. This is the start. I'm a couple months into the 5th year of driving.
Oh, so you a topped out driver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you a recent
topped out
topped out driver. How does that feel?
Amazing. It's literally game changing. It got hard to see for a while, like that 3rd and 4th year, especially with the COVID.
Yeah.
It was like, man, what am I doing? why, bro? Why am I doing this to myself?
Right.
And then I was like, oh, you know, you always talk to the OGs, and it's like, hey, bro, stick with it, do your thing, make sure you stay with it. You're like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's an OG vet that's been doing it 10, 15 years. And then you see the paycheck difference. And it's like, wow.
Like, did they just almost triple me up, bro?
Yeah.
For doing the same thing,
Bro.
that I was just doing for 4 years?
My first check, I looked at it and was like, did they cash out my vacation? What happened? I like freaked out a little bit. You know what I mean? I was like, what is going on? I didn't approve this. Like, what happened?
So, all right. So I don't need to ask you what you were doing before this, because you said
The car wash.
yeah, you
the
said
car wash.
you were doing the car wash thing. So I do want to ask you though. So how does your family feel about what you do? So I'm not going to ask you about your kids, because you're one of the examples of like how, you know, we were talking before of one of the young dudes. Man, this is why Justin Beck is on here, because Justin Beck is one of the young dudes that's in here, but he makes the job look good. He makes it.
I appreciate that.
He makes it look. He's one of the dudes that we gladly hand the baton down to. Like, yeah, dog. We see you, man. You got a good vibe, dog. You make the rest of us look good. Come on, man. Just come mess with us, dog.
Let's do it.
So how do your parents feel?
A little bit of mixed feelings. They're proud of me.
Mixed feelings. That's interesting.
Yeah, mixed feelings, because sometimes I miss out on a lot of stuff. Oh, where are you at? Can you make it? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'll be like, oh no, I'm gonna work till like 6:30, miss dinner, stuff like that. So they're proud of me though. And overall, they're proud. Relationship wise, like females and stuff like that, they don't understand.
We're gonna get to that. Don't jump the gun.
Okay,
Don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun. You know I'm about to ask you about that.
But grandparents then, my grandparents, my grandfather, super proud. He was a retired 525.
What is that?
Welding, pipe fitting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like basically plumbing. And yeah, he was super, super proud, because he's like super pro-union. He's all about it. You know what I mean? So he was like, oh, yeah, you should do this. You should do that. Giving me advice. He's always asking me about the job. So it's cool.
Man, I know if my son does something where he's like, you know, he's making the type of money I'm making, son, I'm going to give you a kiss in the mouth every time you come. That's my son.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right.
So that's why I asked that question, because I know if it was my kid, every time I seen him, I'd have such a smile on my face, like, look at my baby, man. He done made something out of himself. I don't got to worry about him.
Yeah.
Because I know as a father, that's one thing that I worry about a lot is, you know, as my son gets older, like, you know, soon enough, he's going to have to go out there, and whatever's going to happen is going to be on him. Like, and I think about, like, to what degrees is he going to be able to take care of himself? Is he going to be able to, you know, live comfortably?
Yeah.
Like, is he going to be, like, calling me, asking me for money all the damn time? Just how long is it going to take him to figure it out?
Yeah.
So that's one of my questions is how your parents feel, because the parents have to be proud, man.
Gotta be.
They gotta be.
I mean, you know, they are, but when you start missing out on stuff because of work, mixed emotions. You know what I mean?
So then, because that does roll into my next question. you mentioning your grandfather, you said him being a 525. Is that what it was?
Local 525.
So he's got to be, because my next question is, does anybody in your family relate to what you do for work? So if he was a welder, he had to have been busting out like crazy hours. I mean, that sounds like that's a hard job where you got to focus. It takes a lot of dedication.
Nuts. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you both like have in common as far as like work life?
Work life, I mean, honestly, is not, there's not much there that's in common. You know what I mean? It's like he was doing crazy jobs, like sometimes out of state, like nuts, because he was, what do they call it? Not a foreman, but anyways.
So he was gone a lot too, though.
Yeah, he was gone some weeks to go do a job, and then he would come back, visit the family, and go back, going back and forth. But he's got a lot of respect for it. We respect each other because he knows what kind of work we do for the amount of hours that we do. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Like I'm thinking about it right now about what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about like the type of respect that he gets for, and bro, you're not even 30 years old yet, and
right.
the type of respect that you just garner from observers looking in to like, bro, you got to respect me like I'm a 60-year-old man.
Oh yeah,
that's got to feel pretty. That's got to be kind of interesting.
It feels good. It feels good, especially because he's a OG. You know what I mean? He's an OG. He's super old. He's like, I want to say 78.
Ooh, okay.
78, almost 80. And so he's pushing it. You know what I mean? He's pushing it, and to get that kind of respect nowadays from a OG vet is like, okay, like it makes you feel good. It like as a confidence boost for sure.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, man. Because I was in my young 20s, man, when I started driving, right? So when people would find out, what I did, and it was people 40, 50 years old talking to me like I'm a young god, like a young king. I'm like, hey, first of all, listen, thank you, but it's kind of off-putting at first.
Right.
You don't quite know where to place it yet,
right?
Because you still feel like I'm only like 20-something. I don't know shit yet. But at the same time, everybody else to the outside world, they looking at you like, hey, bro, you got to figure it out.
Yep.
You're like, I don't know about that, man, but thank you though. So
I catch myself doing that a lot, bro. Because I mean, yeah, especially when you're so young and you got such a good job, people are like, oh, well, like, aren't you like set up, this, that, and that? You're like, dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, does it, even though it might look like it, bro, I'm still figuring it out just like you. So it's like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's low-key kind of crazy.
Okay. It's 1,000%. Like, even now, man, being in my early 30s, like, I've definitely have some things figured out. But as far as, like, I look at some guys, and I'm like, dude, you're on like I look at like a 30-year driver or something like that.
Right, yeah.
And
super OG.
And I go to a lot of these guys' houses and stuff like that, and I'll be like, dude, like, I don't know. I even feel like there's a gap between like me and them. Like, listen, bro, I know I'm doing extremely well, but you look like I can't even put it into words, bro. Like, hey, just tell me everything you know, please, because I still see like I have a ways to go. So I'm interested to know, though, right? Because I know for me, when I was in my early 20s and I was doing this job and I was going to kick it with my other homies that were in their 20s, right?
Yeah.
Like, listen, look at you bums. Like,
he was on that.
No, like, you would never tell your friends that or shit like that, right? But like, like, especially when you super young, man, like, it's I don't know, it's weird to always have it, to like, all right, hey, what y'all want to do? Oh, we can't go here. It's too expensive. I don't know what you're talking about anymore.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I mean,
it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. It's an interesting spot to be in because statistically, men don't reach their financial prime until they're 40.
Agreed.
So for us, it's really interesting because you beat that by almost like 2 decades, damn near. So to be like not only have I not reached my financial prime yet because, you still got like 2 decades to go, like almost 2 decades to go. I still got a decade to go.
Right.
So it's interesting being around other people who are in your age bracket, and then like you see them still like trying to figure the money thing out, or like trying to figure out just what direction to take their lives in.
Right.
And then like as far as like it's because it's more than just the money thing too. Mm-hmm. It's not just about like, okay, I'm young and I'm financially successful. It's I'm young and I'm kind of mentally stable. Mm-hmm. I'm young and I'm in a good groove of making good decisions.
Yep.
I'm in the habit of making good decisions. Right. So then when you get around your friends that are around your age, and then like you see like they haven't figured that out yet, you like start to see like whether it's good or bad, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But you just like start to see the gaps in people.
Oh, definitely. I one thing I've noticed is like, well, I just kind of think to myself, I don't like, I try not to judge because it's it's the homies, but is like bouncing around from job to job, trying to figure something out. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I couldn't picture doing anything else. You know what I mean? I've got goals and aspirations, of course, but it's like, there's no way you can try and tell me I'm going to go sit behind a desk for 8 hours.
Yeah.
I will go nuts. Mm-hmm. I will go nuts. And then bouncing around job to job, I like the consistency. So it's like, why don't you find something consistent and stick to it and then see where it takes you? If you don't like it, of course, bounce. But definitely the difference, like you were saying about going out, it's like, I don't know about this. Hey, bro, I got you.
Yeah.
We'll go halves on this. Don't worry about it. You got me next time, blah, 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 whatever. But it's like, we're doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we gotta do this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like you go from being just like one of the homies in the group to like the immediate alpha dog. Like
low key,
excuse me.
Low key you do. I seen that and we used to have a really fat friend group, right? Huge. Like, I mean, we still kind of do, but it's like when we're going out, oh man, I'm just trying to chill. Let's pregame. Let's do that. Nah, bro. We're going to go up here. We're going to go up here, stand next to some ladies at the bar. We're going to talk. We're going to chill. And then don't worry about the drinks. Let's just get the drinks. We'll talk. We'll meet people and go from there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it's definitely, you see where some people are lacking and maybe just haven't figured it out. But again, we came into the position so quick, so early on to like maybe help them, or there's a lot of possibilities with it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I do want to shout out Christian and fucking Travis for that.
Hey, shout out to the boys.
But also too though, because even though like they may have helped put you on, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, because I know what happened for me personally in my own like little friend groups was even after I got on, right, and my group of friends were like, start to see like how my life was changing, and I would try to put my homies on.
Yeah.
Not everybody wanted to take the advice. Some homies did end up taking the advice, and then got in and then just couldn't cut it. Like me personally, I've helped 4 people get jobs here.
Yeah.
And out of all 4 of those people, not one of them was able to make the cut and hang around.
It takes I can respect that though, but at the same time, it takes a different kind of person to be in the back of that truck the way we are. You know what I mean?
Very true. That's very true. So have you noticed like we fell on a good topic. See, so did you notice any of like the? Because I lost a couple homies that I thought were like true homies. Mm-hmm. Like once I got into like my second year driving. Yeah. Because you could see like jealousy springing up into people, and that's something like I've seen before, but never as like not like directly pointed like towards me. Like, hey, bro, you're not doing bad like the rest of us no more, homie. Like we don't even want to kick it with you no more, dog. You different now.
I had a couple homies that used different excuses for it, but I think that's what it was like based off of, because we was doing well and they weren't, so we didn't push them out, but they pushed themselves out type of deal.
They like alienated themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, that's unfortunate, man. Because I don't understand why people don't get that. Like, I feel like people should understand, like, your friends shouldn't be your friends just because they're in the same place as you, or they're doing better than you, or they're doing worse than you. They should be your friends just off of like we just boys,
It's
man.
me.
Yeah,
It's
like
me.
it's just me, dog. We boys. So in reality, it's their loss because like even myself, when I had friends that were, you know, I got friends that are pro athletes.
Yeah. Same.
So when I have friends that, you know, go off and go start making millions of dollars and start going off and start doing other things where their life starts going in a great direction, like, hey, bro, listen, we boys, right? And they're going to take you with them.
Yeah.
You just get to go along for an amazing ride.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like people shoot themselves in the foot when they just, like, garner up this jealousy for no reason.
Agreed.
So, and I think that's one of the things that's least talked about as far as like bad things that happen that come with this job, because usually it doesn't happen to like older men. It's something that usually like young men will have to go through.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you get this job when you're 40, you know, when you're like 40, you're already like stuck in your ways. So you could care less about, oh, my friend went and got money and he done changed his life. But, you know, you're 20, you know, he's like, man, this dude get all the girls now. He wasn't getting as many girls before.
Yeah.
This dude, he just got a new fit every time we go out now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why he got a new car every 2 years. What, he paid the car off? What do you
Right.
mean? He's paying vehicles off now? I don't understand. What happened to you, bro? You changed.
He said, is that the third one?
He's like, bro, this is like your third whip now.
Yeah.
What happened to you? I'm like, bro, I'm trying to, come on. You want to be like, hey, bro, come on. Come with me, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, run the race.
Yeah.
Run the race. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, but most people, they don't want to get off the goddamn finish line. But all right, let's leave the old homies alone. All the fallen homies, man. We still mess with y'all. We still love y'all.
Yeah, still love y'all.
Y'all can still
Shout
come
out.
back, man. So, I want to hear about what are some of the challenges you face with this job on like a day-to-day basis, right? And I'll go first to give you an example.
All right. I got you.
So, one of the main challenges that I face day in, day out is damn furniture.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't tell you how much I hate furniture. Sometimes I just want to come in my house and just kick the couch just for being there, because I'll be wanting to tell people, like when I deliver furniture, I'm like, hey, bro, you know, when RC Willie pulls up, right, it's like it's at least two.
Two of them.
Right?
What does the box say? There's a label on the box.
Bro, it says team lift.
Thank you.
Team is two people.
Right.
It's two people. Why is it just me? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing, like, it doesn't matter. I can't get over it. I'll never get over it. I got 20 more years to get over it, but I don't think I'm going to get over it.
You know what I think the UPS thinks? I think it's because you have your dolly. That's the team lift. Right
It's
there.
not a good enough team.
It's not, bro. It's not.
It's not a good enough team.
Sometimes it's not. But I agree, though. That furniture, especially in some of the like really decent areas or the newer areas just getting built, like the Summerlin area. Mm-hmm. Why do you have to change out your patio furniture every 3 months? Are you kidding me? There's no reason for it. The stuff I just delivered 3 months ago is brand new.
Brand new. And you already need some more.
Here, look. I'll just throw it in the back of the truck. I'll take it to the house. I'll find a spot for it. Like, come on. There's no reason for y'all to be throwing this away right now.
So besides furniture, what else would you say is like something that you got to deal with that presents a bit of a challenge every day?
Mentally, there's a like I said earlier, you got to be a different type of person to do this day in and day out. Sometimes forced 6 days a week. Mm-hmm. When you're in the back of that truck and things are messed up because you had no control over it, it's like that mentally is like, dude, where did this dude put this? Or where did she put this? Where would it be? You know what I mean? Like, so it's either whether it's either fighting the load or some days you just don't want to do it. You know what I mean? And that pushing through, because the end result is seeing that truck empty, which is fantastic.
It is a great feeling.
It is the best feeling. And then getting back and then getting it popping with all the homies at the building. But other than the mental game of just being back there and it's hot and you're trying to find something, that's probably the only thing I really struggle with.
So how do you deal with it?
I just talk to myself low key.
Okay.
Just, hey, you got it. You got this. And I kind of every like 20, 30 stops, I'll count my stops and be like, all right, we got 50 left. All right, we got 30 left. All right, we got 15 left. Let's go.
Okay.
Or-
you know, go ahead. No, my bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
you good. Or you'd be talking to one of the homeboys, like, how much you got left? Oh, yeah? All right, I got you. I'm going to beat you to that 15 right now.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it is competitive, but being on the phone, talking to everybody, asking however much everybody's got left, you're like, oh, you only got 20 left? I'm going to step it up these next, like, 30.
Right.
Just to try to get off with the homies, just to either make plans, go eat, do something.
See, and I find myself doing that in the beginning of the day. Mm-hmm. I got like 2 homies I talk to every single day, right? That's how I start my day off, talking to these 2 homies. Like, hey, bro, what you got? What you got? All right, because when we talk about that, like, all right, this is what everybody knows what we went out with, so that helps everybody get off to a good start.
Yeah.
So even if we get off the phone, right, we'll start that hour or 2 talking to each other, and that helps us get through like the first 60, 70 stops. So that sets us up for a smooth rest of the day.
Yeah, no, it does, for sure. Especially if one of your homeboys is just busting it out.
I hate them. I hate them, dog. I hate when I get on the phone and I'll be talking to like, I don't know, I'll be talking to like Taurus. I'll be talking to, it really only happens like when I talk to Wilborn, right?
Yeah.
Because his route is so close to the building,
And
right?
It's so smooth.
I've never done this route before.
Yeah.
So I'll be on the phone with Wilborn, and his route is so close to the building. Like by the time I get to my first stop, he's already 25 deep. I'm like, bro, I ain't even did one yet, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, hey, catch up, motherfucker. I'm like, all right, dude.
God. Hey,
So
I'll call you back.
Yeah. No, I'll talk to him for a minute, but then he'll say a number again, like, yeah, I'm 65. And I'm like, bro, I just hit 15. I just hit 25. All right, bro, listen, I'm about to holler at y'all.
Yeah.
In a little bit, 'cause I'm so far behind.
Yeah.
Well, I can't talk to y'all right now. Okay. So what would you say are some of the positive things that have happened to you as a result of doing this job?
Time management.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
Before this job, I was just go with the flow kind of thing. You know what I mean? But now it's like, I would say organization too. But now it's like, I can...
Look at UPS building character skills.
yeah.
Shit.
Low key, though.
Okay.
My time management before this was piss poor.
Mine
We'll
too.
say that.
I'll be honest, mine too.
Piss poor. But yeah, like when you look in your board and you got this many business stops left, this many of them are business savers that you had to get off by 3, and then just whatever else is going on, it definitely carried over into my personal life to where I was like, okay, I could get this done, I can do this, and then also do this at the same time. I'm
so glad that you just shouted out the business saver.
Oh, bro, nobody knows about that.
Because that lets people know, like, even though you said, like, you know, you've only been topped off for like a year and some change, you've been here long enough to remember the business saver. Because when you started driving, you came in right at the sweet spot where there was so much to do that no, we're gonna force you to be organized. Like, so I completely understand what you're saying, where like time management is a skill that you picked up doing this job.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you find that like translating into your personal life too?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it simply because like it helped me multitask too.
Okay.
So organization, multitasking, and time management for sure.
Okay.
The organization because of the truck. If I don't know how you feel, but if my stuff's not organized after like my first 30, my heart is thumping. It's like anxiety. I don't know how to explain it, but it's something different.
I'm so much of a vet now that I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if it all falls in the middle of the truck. I'll find it. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at in my career. Like, hey, bro,
I'd lose my marbles.
I'll get to it.
Yeah,
I'll get you somewhere, bro. This is what I do. Honestly, like the truck has to be so bad for me to pull over and organize the truck. So this is what I usually do. So what I'll do is the 1,000 shelf and the 2,000 shelf. When I start the day as fast as possible and get them out of here. So then I don't even like go in a specific order. I'll go in, how do I feel like I want to run the route today? And sometimes that'll be off the 8,000 shelf. Sometimes that'll be off the 6,000 shelf.
Really?
Yeah. So what I'll do is after them first 2 shelves are gone, and then I decide however it is I want to run it, I'll just go get neighborhoods at a time and just boop, 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 line them up on my 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going in the back of the truck. That's one thing that I will say, like, as a vet, that if you can make it to where you're not going in the back of the truck, you just popping the door open and just bop and just getting out, you smacking whatever route. It don't matter what you do.
That's how Ed was. Shit used to be so nice. You just grab and go. And then all you had to do was count. That's it.
Yeah.
1 to 2.
Yeah.
2 to 3. 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so smooth. So hold on, wait. So you just run your route every day.
How I feel like.
However, is it just like, oh, this neighborhood's got 30? Is there like a certain, like how you order it? Like, I'm going to do the 8,000s today because of this reason.
So depending on, a lot of it sometimes depends on the air.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
So now that the air is due at 12, right? So usually I'll knock out like the first little couple sections of the route, and if I have air at the top, well, that's where we starting from the rest of the day. I'm not about to drive from the top all the way back down to the bottom and then work myself all the way back up there. I ain't about to do that.
Okay.
So the first, until air is done, my whole first mission is 1, 2, and if I can get off some of 3 and 4, get that out of here. Yeah, get that out of here. So then wherever I end up, where the air is at, just, all right, this is where I'm going from, and then I'll just line it up and go in there, grab them, bop, take them to the front of the truck, put them how I want them, and then, like, this is how OG of a driver I am. I don't even use the board half the time. I don't look at the board and it tells me where I need to go. I'll go, like, I know this is the neighborhood I want to go to, so I'll look at the board and be like, okay, so I know this is the shelf, and then I'll just go get the shelf, and then I'm looking at the shelf, I'm like, all right, I got this house, this house, this house, this house. All right, this neighborhood is right next to it. That's going to be on this shelf. Boop, 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 boop. So I'm not even looking at the board.
Yeah.
That's how much of a vet I am. I don't care about none of that. So, because when I started, right, how I was taught was the truck tells you what you about to do.
Yeah.
Not the board.
Yeah.
So if yo 4,000 shelf is real put together and it's in order, no, we're just about to rock that off first.
Yeah.
Bop, just boom, so I get off to a good start.
Time management.
Yep. If I have a ear reg it's an eyesore and I need that out, wherever this ear reg goes, that's where the route starts.
Get everything off of my floor. That's how I think.
That's not a bad way to go about it, honestly.
I need everything off the floor.
So, all right, so question. So you running all the ear regs before you start to get busy?
No, with my air. No matter what. And I mean, I personally, I like to go, depending on how the route is, like once I figure the route out, I'm like, I don't care where this neighborhood is in the truck. I'm doing these 2 neighborhoods first, and then so on and so forth, regardless of what shelf it's on. But everything needs to be off the floor. E-rigs, out of the truck. Bulk stops, out of the truck.
You know, it does. That's what. You know why I like that? Why I like that is because that's a prime example of you being your own boss to a certain certain degree.
Agree.
Because like if a supervisor's driving with you, like you know you have a ride, you'll have a ride along. They'll be like, listen, no, we got to do this. How the computer says you got to do this, but hey, bro, you gonna ride with me once every 2 years. So for them all the rest of the time is, hey, bro, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, plain and simple.
And so for all y'all new drivers out here listening to this, you can't just do that though. There's a reason why Justin is saying this, because Justin does this, what he's telling you right now, right? And then he'll smack his route by like an hour and a half, 2 hours. You can't do this and then begin beat by 3-4 hours.
Right.
You can't do that. So if this is something you're gonna do where you're gonna make up your own plan, you better know what you're doing. Because if you don't and you out here getting beat, you're gonna be in the office and then you're gonna be forced to not think for yourself.
Agreed.
So if you're gonna be out there thinking for yourself, make sure you got a good plan.
Yeah. But ask the OGs why sometimes you do run your E-rigs first.
Listen, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give up too much sauce, but
You're right.
Sometimes
it's saucy for sure.
Sometimes you do want to run the ear regs first for other reasons, but you know we'll we'll let y'all figure that out in y'all later years, right?
Or just ask.
Or just ask. You see me in the building, just come up on me and ask me, and
I'll let your boy.
Yeah, holla at me or Beck or one of these other OGs. We give you some game. We'll let you know. But that's not for me to say on this show.
Right.
Okay. So also, I want to ask you, man. So I know you got into the point in your career where you get to do a lot of nice resi routes now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Not all the time, but more than when you first started.
True. I actually no, dude. I spent most of my time up in Summerlin. Crystal was just keeping me up there because I was crushing it. Mm-hmm. So I just made numbers look good up there.
Right. Okay.
And I was just crushing it. It'd be like 240. She'd be like, "Oh, Beck got it." you know what I mean?
Big numbers every day.
250. Yeah, it was always big numbers, but I mean, if it's an all resi route, it's going to be a bigger number. You know what I mean? But you can't turn down. You can't turn down. Well, hey, no. Again, don't give up the sauce.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna give up the sauce.
But I mean, fortunately enough, I'm a newer driver that got to own my last 2 routes that I owned. One was a bulk route, and then the one that I just owned and just gave up, all resi route. Beautiful. It's a great route.
So that's where I was leading to. Right?
Okay.
So being that you get resi routes, right?
Mm-hmm.
200 stops, 20 people outside. You're gonna run into a bunch of different people every day.
Always, yeah.
So what can you say that you've learned from meeting all these people? Whether it be something you learned about people in general, and then what also have you learned about yourself? So meeting all these people.
So kind of like a life lesson kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we're in uniform, so always keep that customer service. But a lot of these people out here getting crazy. So
you come across some crazies?
Oh, absolutely. So just like don't judge a book by its cover, I should say. Simply because you could meet somebody and be like, "Oh, this dude's an asshole," and then be like, "Hey, man, you want some snacks? You want something to drink?" Yeah. And you'd be like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then they open up the garage fridge, and you're like, "Yeah, right." And be like, "No, I can't do that. You just grab me something." But there's other times where we're like, "Oh, this old lady's gonna be so sweet. Watch this." She's like, "What are you doing putting it there?" You know what I mean? Just don't judge a book by its cover. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's even meeting people. I mean, I don't know, man. There's a lot that comes with it, So you can run into people that you know, or family, friends of friends type of deal. Just be aware of everything too.
Okay.
Because you don't know what's going to happen.
One thing I learned from doing a lot of resi routes and then just meeting a whole bunch of people. One thing I wasn't expecting, right? Because I'm from Carson, California, from LA County. Mm-hmm. So from where I come from and just being a black man, we don't really get along with police too much, right? So doing this job, I have met and this might be an unpopular thing for that people hear, but I've met so many police officers outside of uniform. I started understanding liking, I won't say liking police, but understanding a police officer outside of their uniform, because I won't name these guys, but I know 4 police officers just off of delivering to them so much that being invited, "Hey bro, when you get off, man, come back, have a beer with me." So I've done delivered my route, and there's legit, I probably went and had beers with maybe 4 different police officers, but there's 2 of them that I still, to this day,
chop it up with.
When I get off work, "Hey, J.Love, what you doing when you get off?" "I ain't doing that way." "Well, on your way home, come have a couple beers with me." "For sure."
Bet.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then I'll be in a garage drinking a beer with a damn police officer. He got his police bike here. He got his uniform on. And we just out here chilling, drinking, talking about life.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I would say I learned about people is there's cool police officers, man. Something I would never think in my life that I would ever find myself admitting that I got a couple police officer homies now.
Yeah.
Whoa, where that came from.
You meet some crazy people. Mm-hmm. But basically I don't know, the uniform kind of thing. Like, once you talk to them outside of work, because if you talk to them when they were on the clock, it'd be a different story.
So, yes.
Yeah, you think so?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Because you don't. This is only like I knew there were police officers because like they would be like either just getting home or just about to leave, and they'd had a uniform on,
Right.
getting ready to get in their car.
Yep.
And then I would just stop and like have a conversation for like 20, 30 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. So then, you know, you do a route for so long, you see these people
Day in
over
and day out.
and over and over. So eventually, you know, I'm pulling up to these dudes on their days off, right? And they out there, they yelling at the TV because they watching hockey or they watching football or basketball. And then I'm like, well, I got an hour for my break every day. Let me just kick it with you, man.
Right.
Smoke a couple cigarettes, yell at this TV with you, man.
You get hype with them.
Yeah, let's talk about some guns. Talk about that's a
huge conversation
that's a
starter.
huge conversation starter because I've only been in the guns for like maybe like the last 5-6 years, right?
Yeah.
So, man, I done been in police officer garages, and he just shows me the whole arsenal. I'm like, oh, bro, I want this, I want this, I want this. Like, all right, bro, go ahead, hold this. I've had
You're like, oh, what?
Listen,
for real?
Listen, I've had a police officer, right? I've only done it once, but he took his arsenal out to the desert, and he invited me to go with him.
Oh, did you go?
Oh, you fucking right, I went with him. What?
Yeah.
You think I'm like, all right, I get to go shoot with the cops?
Yeah.
Come on, man, that's like a once in a lifetime. Like, you got to take advantage of that. So I went and did that, right? So, still to this day, man, whenever I see him, dude, I just stop.
Yeah.
I stop, I get out, talk to him. I know his wife, I know his kids, man. So that's at least one thing for me that I've learned.
And I can appreciate that. It's like getting to know somebody just by talking to them, delivering to them, and then saying, hey, like, you guys have kids, this, that, and the third. And then later on interactions, you're like, hey, how's so-and-so doing, this, that, and the third. And they start asking you about family members. So, yeah, the relationships you do build with customers is I cherish that.
Right.
For sure. And it's hard, once you start building relationships with people, it's hard saying, like, hey, there's a better route up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want this route, but I like you guys.
Yeah, the people make you attached. That's a real
for
thing.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
a real thing. That is,
And I didn't understand that. Like a lot of some super OGs just sit on their route, and that's crazy. I'm just now thinking about that. It's because it's definitely the customers.
Right.
As I've got to know these customers, I've got to know, like, oh, this person's kids play sports, or they race dirt bikes, or whatever.
Because I used to ask, I would ask Mike Peterson. I'm like, dude, like, your route is nice, but I remember when the route I have now, I'm like, dude, why would you not take this?
Yeah, take that.
Why would you? This is like one of the 5 retirement routes that are at the building.
Heaven sent.
Yeah, there's no way this should fall to me right now. Even as a 10-year driver, there's no reason I should have this route, bro. And, you know, Mike kind of said the same things that you echoing right now. It's like, nah, bro, like, all his people up there love him. They love him so much.
Bro, have you talked to Mike on the phone?
Of course.
Bro.
They love him up there, man. He's
Bro.
He gives them the best perception of what UPS is.
Yeah.
So if anybody up there off of Mike's route, when they think about UPS, they think about him. He gets. I've never heard him say, "Hey, J.Love, I got this DFU." For y'all that don't know what that is, that's a driver follow up. That's when a customer has a complaint and you got to go talk to him. Mike don't know what that is.
No,
he doesn't have that.
No.
They all love him.
Bro, I did Mike's route a couple years back. The lady came out because she heard the truck with sandwiches and like drinks and stuff, right? And her and her husband came out, and they were both highway patrol. Crazy that you said that. Both highway patrolmen, and they came out and they were like, "Yeah, Mike, here you go." And they saw me, and they were like, "Oh, where's Mike?" They were like, "You can have it anyways." But I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I called Mike and was like, "Bro, you get food and drinks delivered to you when you're delivering to them?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. No,
that's insane.
It is crazy the relationships that you build with people after like seeing them, especially if you've like been sitting on the route for 3, 4, 5, 10 years. Like you're part of the family now.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, okay, we can talk about that for a minute. So let's move on. Oh, you gotta go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. All right, boom. We took a little bathroom break, but we're back with you guys. Everybody, we're back. Okay. So continuing on, moving forward. So I want to ask you, do you feel a certain kind of responsibility while doing this job, whether it's coming from like just responsibility doing the job itself, or like a certain responsibility outside the job? Well, like now that I do this, pardon me, and I'm a young, successful person, do you feel like like a certain responsibility that you carry with you now?
Yeah, like a certain upkeep. You know what I mean? Just
Upkeep, explain.
Just on myself, appearance wise, and like attitude, mental attitude too. Because you can't be, even though you're having a bad day, you can't be out here effing this, effing that, delivering stuff to people's door, and they hear you. I mean, sometimes it happens, but you still got to represent. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yeah, there's a sense of pride to it, I guess you can say as well, because you got to not only look the part, you got to play the part.
Right.
So signature required, smiling, hey, how y'all doing today? Blah blah blah. Go from there. So there's a sense of pride and upkeep that I try to hold myself accountable for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, responsibility. It's just basically, like I said, upkeep. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to look like a bum,
right.
pulling up to someone's front door, like, here, sign for your 3 new iPhones.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just like what I think about. So it's like, hey, do I look presentable? Like when I go into work every day, it's like, do I look presentable today?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. I would say my form of feeling where I feel responsible comes more on the outside of work. Like I know when I talked to Alan, we talked about how now because of the place that we are in our life now,
Okay.
more outside of work now, I'm sure this happens to you too. People come up to you all the time and they ask you like, hey man, how do I get on? Like how do I get a job there and stuff like that? So I find a lot of responsibility in being in a place now where people, whether you know them or you don't know them, like look up to me now. So like without even knowing, I'm having to set an example for people, especially younger people. I find myself like, hey, all right, well, I guess I'm what somebody would deem successful in life. So I can't make that look bad. Yeah. So like whenever I'm talking to people, I want to make sure like, it's kind of weird because I want to make sure like it's a weird thing to say, but I want to make sure my language is good. I want to make sure like I'm not, I don't sound like I'm some dude from off the street. I don't want to sound like I'm ignorant or anything like that.
Yeah, like you're kicking it with the homies.
Yeah. I want to make it seem like I'm successful and I'm successful for a reason because I'm not a fucking idiot. Because I'm mentally together. So I find it where kind of is, I guess it is kind of like what you said. It is kind of like an upkeep thing to where I have to make sure that like I'm presentable, but not just by like how I look and how I dress, but more of where my mind state is at and how I converse with people, how I communicate, and more along the lines of those things.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of. I mean, yeah, that's just how I put it. Is just your upkeep.
Okay.
You got to hold yourself to a certain standard. Like going into the job, going into your day, and then because you don't, like you said, you want to sound. What's the word? You just want to sound like you want to play the part.
Right.
Like you got to hold yourself to that standard. Right.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's challenging sometimes too because you want to like. Especially outside of work, you want to, like, you just want to relax and be regular. But it's interesting when certain parts of your life elevate and they don't really seem, like, too meaningful to you. It doesn't seem like a big deal. Yeah. But, if you're driving around in a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 car and you pull up to places, right, and people, for whatever reason, people want to approach you. They want to talk to you about things. Hold up. Boom, and all right, go ahead.
So back to those responsibilities, though. Just with the job in general, I feel like there is responsibilities that I got to give game to new drivers coming in too. You know what I mean? Like you got to pass down the knowledge that you've learned or have gotten from another OG vet, or even just someone that's a couple years ahead of you. Just putting the little homies on game, basically. There's definitely some huge responsibility in that, especially when you know they're a decent driver, but they're just kind of fucking up in some...
Right, a little rough around the edges?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's some of the advice that you give them?
Honestly, it's just right off the jump would be organization. Just organize. Stay on top of your load. Know what's in your board. And back to the savers, if you didn't know what was in your board, it could screw you. Mm-hmm. So know what's in your board, have a game plan, and then just move with purpose.
Okay. Well, that's good advice. My main thing that I tell new drivers is really a confidence thing. Like,
True.
It's 'cause if you come in here scared, you are gonna crash and burn. If you come in here not feeling like you're meant to be here, it's gonna show.
Certain people will eat you alive.
Yes, mainly supervision. And everybody knows. I mess with the supervisors.
Yeah.
But if you walk around here like a chump, they gonna treat you like that. Being honest, they gonna treat you like you dirt.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't come in here and act like you belong, they gonna treat you like you don't belong.
Yep.
So whenever that's the main thing I tell new drivers. Hey, dude, act like you belong here. Act like, not just act like you belong here, act like you want to be here. And that's why, one of the reasons why I'm like, nah, Justin, you got to come get on the show and holler at the people, man, because you're not, like, even though you're relatively new, like, you just slid in, man, and just, like, fit in immediately. Like, as soon as you step through the door, it's like, well, this dude's supposed to be here. Immediately. It was like, all right, he might be brand new, but, like, he's supposed to be doing this. Like, he's not walking around here scared. He's walking around like he's been doing this for 20 years already. And it's crazy, too, because a lot of times, because it goes both ways. You can either be the driver who's confident and you know you're supposed to be here, and then everything else follows. Like, you work like that too. But then there's guys who come in here and like, dude, you're so bad at this, but you swear you that man though, and you need to humble it down immediately. So, and usually those are the guys that either don't make it or they have a terrible time. Terrible time while they have been.
But they're making such good money, but they can't leave.
But they can't leave, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so I do want to ask you about. Well, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and double back a little bit.
Okay.
So, while we do this job, we're alone all day. It's just us in the truck. So what do you do to, like, pass your time? You get on the phone, you talk to the homies, you listen to podcasts, music. What you be doing while you out there?
A little bit of everything. It also depends. It depends what kind of mood I'm in. Depends what kind of day I have. Because if I got a super heavy day, like, I'm gonna be like, hey y'all, I want to chop it up today, but I can't. So
responsible.
I'm gonna crank out this music. I'm gonna crank out a podcast, or even I listen to books. I've been listening to a lot of books recently, which has been like super cool. It's been super cool. But
you know who put me on that? Diamond.
Al did?
Al put me on that.
No way. Shout out to Al.
So the people that do know me do know I am actually an avid reader. I got maybe 200 books in my library upstairs, and I've legitimately read 175 of them. So I'll talk to Al sometimes about, like, what's the last thing he's read or what he's working on right now. And I remember one week he hit me with like 3 books. I'm like, bro, how'd you read 3 books this week? And he's like, oh no, I just I throw it on the headphones. I was like, fucking brilliant. So,
it is brilliant, bro. You could crank books out. You can get them knocked out.
Dude, I went through 5 one week.
Yeah.
I went through 5 one week.
A book a day.
I'm like, all right, I guess that's what I'm doing this week. I just found it, so I'm gonna just go ahead and knock out these 5 books. So that's good. That's I do that as well. I like that.
The books are nice. Harder days on certain routes, gotta have the homies on the phone just to pass that time. Like I said, it's a huge factor in all of it. Like, what route am I on? What does the load look like? Like, everything comes into play. Or if I got a lot of business, you can either, like, when you got a lot of business, mute the song. Because, we all fancy with the iPod, the Apple headphones, whatnot. You just mute the song, go in, chop it up real quick, bounce.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, I would say I'm definitely getting more into books on route as of right now.
Okay.
But normally it's a little bit of all of that.
Okay. I remember those days when I used to go into a business, mute the headphones, talk to people, but I'm a resident. I don't see no business no more. I do not miss them days at all. So I want to ask you, what would you say has been the wildest thing you've seen while you were out there delivering?
Okay, so I got categories.
Ooh.
You got to categorize it. You know what I mean? Like, because we've seen some nasty accidents. I've seen some gnarly accidents that I would be like, oh, those accidents where everybody stopped and you're like, oh, well, there was an accident. I've been in a UPS truck and been like, heard everything, just loud crash, bang, and I'm like, almost jumped out the truck on the freeway. Like, what was that? Like, seen accidents. So there've been some gnarly accidents. Customers answering the doors, also crazy.
Answering the door crazy how? Or I'll just in a previous episode, I talked about the dude answering the door with his dick out and a cock ring on, trying to have a full conversation, staring me in my eyes. I'm like, hey, bro, you gotta put your penis away.
Hey, yeah, bro, chill. Go back inside.
Go in the house now.
Right now.
Right now.
And whoever else is back there, send them to the front door.
Don't send anyone to the door. Because if this is what you look like, I don't want to see what they look like.
Right.
I don't want to see what they look like either.
But no, there's the craziest thing, honestly. You got to categorize it because people answer the door, like you said, naked. I've had, during Christmas season, bro, it was late. Oh, boy, answer the door with a shotgun. I was like, dude, it's Christmas. I'm delivering your kids gifts.
Did y'all hear this motherfucker say, it's Christmas?
It's about to be Christmas. Like, bro, you are strapped. you are full on strapped.
He said, bro, I'm not the Grinch, dog.
The way he answered the door, though, it's like he was waiting on problems. I'm surprised he didn't answer the door with like a tack vest on, like the full works. But there's definitely categories because accidents, people answering the door, nuts. Some females just, they know you showing up.
Yeah.
Answer the door as you're setting the package down and you just look up and they're just naked.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, you knew I was going to be here.
Those are good stops.
Sometimes.
Those are good stops. And listen.
And they're not bad stops.
Girl, listen, don't put it on. I feel completely the opposite. And then I said about with the dude answering the door naked. Ladies, you answer the door naked whenever you want to.
That is fantastic.
All right? Please, for me. Listen. Man, I wish I could tell y'all where I was at so y'all knew to do it for me, but we won't do that.
Yeah, won't want to leave that one out.
Man, okay. So I do want to ask you, though, then. So what would you say are your interactions with the ladies while you out there? Because you a young, single, hot dude. Pause. How does that... yeah.
Pause.
How does that... Hold on. Young, single, handsome dude with a boatload of money. So... how do ladies treat you out there, man?
Generously. It's very, very.
That's an interesting word to use.
Very generous, we'll say that. I don't know. There's been some crazy interactions for sure. There's always snacks. But yeah, you got a couple that like once you sit on a route for a minute, I feel like some of them order stuff on purpose.
Yeah.
And then they watch the like delivery time or.
Yep.
Because they can track us now, so it's like they can see when we're gonna be there.
I had a lady, man. I was sitting on the route. I won't say exactly where, but it was over by the Santa Fe, right?
Okay.
So I'm delivering, right, and I sat on this route for like 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. So I had noticed, like, early on doing the route, like, hey, it's this lady who just comes outside. Every time I hit the neighborhood, she seems to be outside, and she just like stares at me. She waves at me, so
Smiling.
So eventually, I got to pull up on her, right? Mm-hmm. So eventually, I pull up on her, and then I introduce myself, like, hey, I'm your UPS guy, all of that, right? Mm-hmm. And she starts, like telling me about her life and stuff. So, the first couple times, just like nice, cordial conversation. A couple weeks in, man, she starts, hey, listen, so I noticed like you be around here like at the same time every night, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, yeah, it's my job. It's my job to be here around this time. Well, if you don't mind, I cook dinner every night around this time. And, I'm just, if you didn't mind, why don't you just come have some dinner with me, right? So I'm like, I'm kind of relatively new still. Yeah. So there's no red flags at all in my mind. I'm just like, this is a nice lady. I'm just like, this is a nice lady. Yeah. So eventually, man, I take her up on her offer, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm hungry. I'm starving. I ain't taking no breaks. I'm starving out here.
Starving.
So, I go and I have the dinner, right? So after dinner number one, I'm like, all right, this is cool. She wasn't weird or anything like that. I'm just all right, cool. Food was good. Had some nice conversation. Went on about my day.
Right.
So then the dinner started to become a frequent thing. Like, hey, we gonna have dinner on Thursday night. We're gonna have dinner on Friday night. I'm like, hey, this a lot of steaks you making, and steaks are expensive.
Said I'm starting to have the meat sweat.
Yeah, I'm like, like I appreciated you, making food for me that one time, but I don't really, my antennas are starting to go up, right? So then, one of these days, man, I'm like, oh, I can't, I'm busy, and, I can't eat with you. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. And she starts telling me some saucy things, like, hey.
Like some backlash?
No, she starts telling me things like, hey, there's more than dinner inside this house, right? Okay. And I'm like, ooh, listen. That sounds incredible, lady, but I don't know what to do with you right now, okay? So for the sake of I don't know what to do, and like I'm young, fresh in the 20s, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, there's so many things I would like to do, but
I just got off my packet.
Exactly. Like, hey, I don't think I should be. I can't be in here taking you down and then getting back to the like this is go sour. What if this doesn't end well? This isn't something I should be doing. Right. Mm-hmm. So I professionally handled the situation and stuff. Right. And immediately was like started bidding on other routes. Like, I just got to get away.
I bounce.
I just got to get away.
Run.
But that's happened on several occasions where I just have to be like, man, y'all ladies out here y'all are interesting, boy.
Wildin'. They're going nuts. I was everyday customer, right? And it was never signature required. So I was drop and go, wave goodbye, as answering the door. And then out of nowhere, she started answering the door, right? It's like, okay, cool. No big deal. Decent conversation. Then it started getting into kind of the same thing. Hey, you wanna come inside and cool off? I know it's hot out here. I'll have a drink for you, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, okay, no big deal. And so I kept doing the route, right? Started going inside, checking out the house. I'm not going to name the area. It's a very nice area. Big old house. Mm-hmm. Insane.
I bet I can guess where it's at.
Insane. So I start coming and hanging out inside, just chopping it up. And then I start doing the route, like I said, a little longer. And then I started delivering to the husband. And I was like, okay, this is getting a little out of hand. Because I know what's coming.
Yep.
I'm not stupid.
Yep.
Do I want it to happen? Absolutely. But you can't. I know situation arises, old boy gets off early. Mm-hmm. I don't you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't even care if he knows about it. Like you
just don't want the headache.
Some weird even if it's on some weirdo shit, But yeah, hey, come inside, cool off. We can have some drinks. We got snacks, blah, blah, blah. I said, we? Okay, now I know.
Yeah, now you know for sure.
I know.
Yeah, I've run into that situation a couple times.
Wordplay. Yep. Wordplay. I was like, stop, because I will do it. I will absolutely do it. I'm sorry. I'm not. I will do it. Please do not tempt me.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. We could talk about this forever. Everybody out here who's been doing this for a long time knows we could talk for just 2 hours about the interactions that we have with ladies out here.
It's insane, dude.
We won't do it.
No.
We won't do it. We'll save that for the Patreon. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, have you been in a relationship though at any point in time while you were doing this job though?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So did that put like any type of strain or present any special challenges like doing this job and then being in a relationship?
There's certain challenges for sure. One, I think because of the age that I'm at with the relationship, the amount of time that I could spend with this person before having this job and then transitioning, the transition was rough, especially because of the hours that we put in. So like that free time that you guys got together is like non-existent almost.
Right.
I can't say for like more seasoned relationships. You know what I mean? The seasoned relationships, like, okay, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this, and then we'll meet in the middle after you decompress from work. Because as a UPS driver, I have to decompress. When I get off of work, I'm either going to kick it in the office and bullshit to like decompress, and then like let that like
let the day melt off you.
Right, which I had to learn after the fact.
I used to come home and blow up.
Dude, explode.
And anybody who was here, I'm just breathing fire on you. Get out the way.
I didn't learn to decompress until after that relationship ended.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there was definitely some huge challenges relationship-wise that it definitely put a strain on things, especially during the 2-year COVID that we had. Huge. That was like the crazy. I was like, girl, you ain't even working. Like, it's okay. We can still stack some money, but
yeah. What are you expecting from me? I'm so tired right now.
I just worked a 13.5-hour day, and then I come home, and we gotta figure out some bullshit when you've been patty caking all day. No.
Don't ask me. No questions. I used to get mad. Right. I would come home, right, and two things would thoroughly upset me. One, while I'm out here, don't ask me any questions about what's going on at the house. You're there. You figure that out. Don't ask me what's for dinner. Don't ask me.
That's the big one. There's the dinner. Oh, I can't stand it.
Don't ask me that. Like, you figure it out. And then two, when I get off, don't ask me to stop nowhere. If you ask me to I don't care if you want me to go fucking pick up milk from the store, I'm going to throw this milk at your head when I get back to the house because you telling me you want me to make more stops after I already did 200 stops. And you just been out here at the house making no stops. Your whole day was just stopped. No.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So that for sure I had to, like you said, it took me a while to learn like how to release the day because I wasn't good at it for like 3 years. I didn't know how to release the day. I would think that you just come home, drink a couple beers, and then like it's gone. Nope, still right there. It's still right there.
You gotta. Even I'm still learning how to do it, but you gotta leave that work day at the door. You gotta the second you walk out of that building, you gotta leave that right there, and yeah, it's just straight up decompressing. Having a relationship in UPS is different.
Very much so.
It is different.
Very much so.
Because there's a lot of stuff you're not going to be able to do because of how tired I am. Or it's like something as simple as, you got dogs, like, hey, we got to take them for a walk. I just walked all day. Like, there was definitely, you got to push past a lot of things.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was very challenging.
Okay.
But I give all these vets props that have been married for as long as they've been married.
As do I.
Bro.
I'm like, dude, you got some type of secret sauce because...
Yeah, give me some game.
Yeah, because you're right. It's difficult, man. I ain't figured out no formula how to make it successful. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out like everybody else. So, okay. So I want to ask you about some of the people you work with. So, how do you feel about the people you work with? For example, like supervisors and other drivers. Let's start with the soups. How you feel about them?
It's a personal preference. You know what I mean? So, like, you've got some soups that you completely avoid. Like, don't talk to me. You're going to do your job. I'm going to do mine. Mm-hmm. We both know this. I'm going to leave you alone. You leave me alone, and we'll go about our day. Mm-hmm. And then there's other soups that you build relationships with. That's like, that's my homie. That's my homegirl. Like, you know what I mean? So
right.
The supervisor thing is pick and choose. You know what I mean? Especially on certain days, because some days, every day is different.
Right.
So some soups be having a good day. If you had a good day and the soup had a good day, come back, kick it, chop it up. It's cool. Other days you see the soups having a hard day, you kind of help them turn their day around. It literally depends what kind of relationship you build with that person.
Right.
You know, and I try to make friends with the supervisors to, you know, just level grounds. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Plain and simple. And I personally, I'd like to keep it business, just straight business. No, like, real friendships with this management, because I was a manager for at one point in time.
Right. Yeah, the car wash thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, that's a conflict of interest. Because once you start building outside relationships with these people, now it's like, oh, that's favoritism. And with how many drivers we have at our building, you're like, oh, that's favoritism.
Right.
And then just stirring the pot.
Right.
Try to avoid that.
I learned that I love the supervisors. Pretty much all of them. I can't name one supervisor.
I can respect that.
There's not one supervisor that I can name that I don't like. And this is why. Because the tone was set early on when I first started driving that I'm not going to talk to you like you're like some person in charge or authority. Mm-hmm. I'm about to talk to you like a regular person up off the street, man. I'm about to talk to you real regular. All right. So, and it's off-putting to not only just like supervisors, but just some people in general. Mm-hmm. When you just like, listen, man, I'm not about to treat you no type of special way. I don't care like if you're supposed to be this person in charge. So when I was able to, you know, come up in the building and just be like, hey, man, nah, fuck that. I don't like whatever you're saying to me right now.
Oh yeah,
you gonna have to throw that shit out the. You gonna tell that to him, dog. I'm not the one. So don't talk to me like you're my boss or you're my supervisor, bruh. You better talk to me like we just two men. And
trying to figure something out.
Yeah. So once they got used to it, right, and the supervisor like understood like even if we have to discipline him about something, we have to like, you know, like, oh, he went over an hour on the route today or something like that. Mm-hmm. Don't address me like, hey, you sorry driver, like, why did it take you an hour? Like, hey, you better ask me like, hey, so what was different about that day why you got beat by an hour than all these other days where you beat the route by 3-4 hours? Mm-hmm. Like, you better learn how to approach me. You just talk to me real regular.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not going to talk to you in no type of, like, I'm looking up to you no type of way. I'm going to talk to you on equal ground.
Yep.
So once that boundary was made where, and it's not even so much a boundary, it's more of taking all the boundaries away. Yeah. Like, we're not about to have this me versus you. It's just we both in here. The same person that pay me, pay you. Yep. So we're gonna talk like that. Yep. We're gonna talk like my check gets signed by the same person your check gets signed by. Mm-hmm. Dude, some of these supervisors are the coolest people I've met.
They're, to me, as normal human beings. But personally, I'm the type of dude that's going to fight fire with fire. If you come at me crazy, I'm coming right back at you crazy because you get what you put out. You know what I'm saying? So, agreed. If you talk to me normal, I'm going to talk to you normal. But don't beat around the bush either. If you know something, ask me straight up because I'm in the office for a reason. So, me being in the office right now, I got pulled in the office, okay? There's one, you guys already know the answer. So don't beat around the bush. Don't ask me questions. Ask what you need to ask, and I'll give you a straightforward answer. Straight and to the point. I'll dissect, say it was yesterday. I'll dissect what I did yesterday. Be like, okay, yeah, I messed up. That's what you're asking about, right? Boom, done deal. Straightforward to the point. The beating around the bush where they're like, oh, what happened, this, that, and the third. Bro, ask me what you got to ask me.
See, that's what I mean earlier when I told you. I was like, no, you, excuse me, you act immediate. As soon as I got to know you, I was like, oh yeah, he been acting like he was supposed to be here. Because usually dudes don't come into that mentality until like around year 7, 8, and I'm like you. That was me from the jump.
Off the rip.
Like, hey, this ain't no game, dog. Just tell me what it is. So we can have this conversation like two men.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you're not about to have me in this office scared.
No.
You're not about to have me in here like I'm scared for my job or nothing. Fuck you. All
Yeah.
right. So tell me what it is. I know I'm good at this. Motherfucker. Hey, if I deliver, if I got 180 stops and I messed up once, oh, my shooting percentage is high. You gonna pay me the max deal? You gonna pay me a max deal for that? So I know I'm good, dog. So what we talking about?
Right.
All right. Oh, if it's something that I need to correct, oh yeah, I'll fix that. All right. So, but anyway, so what else is good with the rest of the day? We're gonna get past whatever it is we gotta talk about, right? Yeah. And then let's talk about regular man stuff. Hey, you went shooting last weekend or what, dog? You went to the strip club? Because I was just at the strip club a couple weekends ago. Let me tell you about the titties I saw. You want to talk about that, dog? Like, I don't want to hear all this. Let's get whatever the serious shit is out the way, right? So that I can be myself. Because if I feel like I gotta walk on eggshells or something, I'm not in my place of comfort, and I refuse to.
I'm not happy.
I refuse to not be comfortable and not be happy.
I'm not happy. Absolutely. Okay. With the coworkers, though, coworkers is probably a huge reason I'm still around, to be honest. Because you continuously meet people, that friendship development you have just over the years. It's just interesting. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of times where early on I was like, dude, I'm out. Fuck this, I'm out.
Right.
But then I was like, nah, man, I gotta go see the homies. I gotta go see the boys. Yeah, like let's go get after it.
It's crazy when you think about it, because one of the main things that you look forward to, and also one of the main things I look forward to, is getting there like 20 minutes early and just talking shit.
Yep.
But that's, bruh, some of the most hilarious stuff that happens or that ever gets said happens 20, 30 minutes before start time. And then whenever you get off and everybody be in the office, and it just be like roast sessions all day.
Oh, yeah. It's the best.
Yeah, I do. That's one thing that I learned, right, is for people that know people who are like, if you know anybody who's like ever been in the Air Force and the Marines, I got homies that are in both Air Force and Marines.
My dad was in the Air Force.
So, right, so you know this. So whenever you do something, like you go on tour or, you're in like combat situations, or, if you're in the military, those group of guys, like those are your guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing at this job. We all do that. We all go to war every day with these damn boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And this route every day. And every day we get to see what soldiers came back and came back successful. So every time we go out there, we come back, it's like, all right, dog, like, your troop. So, and it just happens like our troop is like,
we got a tight family.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a tight family.
That's something that a lot of people don't know, man. Like, of course, they're like sprinkled in there like pepper. You got a few guys that they're like eyeballs that don't mesh in well, but that's just like their personality. Yeah. They're just like loners.
Agree.
But for the most part, dude, everybody mess with each other. Like if you're a UPS driver especially if you work at the same building, them is your guys.
Oh yeah. Walking into Red Rock was different, bro.
Why you say that?
Just because it was like, when you say it's a roast session, right? When you walked into Red Rock, you was getting dogged off the rip. off the rip. You had to come in guns blazing, no matter what. And it was so fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, you could not be funny.
Yeah.
Like if you're not witty, dog, it's like, all right, well, we all about to talk about you right now. Okay? So I hope you can either take the jokes, I hope you can laugh at yourself, or your feelings gonna get hurt. They shouldn't be hurt, but we only messing with you, dog, because you part of the family.
Right. And you had to be witty. You had to fire back. If you didn't fire back, you was getting ganged up on. Yeah. And that's what it was. That's just how it goes. Yeah. It was a good time, though.
For sure. So who were like some of your OGs? Who were some of the dudes that when you came up driving that you like look up to, like you seen in the building, was like, dude, okay, well, I see this dude is happy. I see this dude is like, like, who were the dudes that set examples for you?
As the years go on, it changes.
Okay.
I will say that. But right when I first came in, I liked that it was kind of competitive. You know what I mean? So I was looking at Paul and John Reed, Paul Updike. And I was looking at those guys, and I was like, damn. So every time they put me in Summerlin, bro, I was running my ass off. I was trying to beat those guys.
Yeah.
And a couple of times I did. And then there was other times where I'd get in and I'd walk straight to their trucks after punching out, see if they were still hot or not.
Yeah.
Be like, okay, how far behind was I? But because those guys had some wheels. DJ got wheels, bro. Like, they've been doing it, 20-plus years almost? And they're still cranking these 200-plus stop routes out before you could. A lot of these guys don't even think about getting done. Another thing, too, was walking in and seeing that.
All right, go ahead.
Walking in and seeing that that plaque on the wall, that 500 stop count plaque. I was like, oh, I got to be there. Was it a bad decision? Yes.
Why was it a bad decision? Because I would argue it's not a bad decision.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
This is why, though. All right? Because like I was saying before, like, you've been here long enough to know what the culture was. So for people listening, UPS has just gone through like a culture shift.
Definitely.
Where, like, it was definitely not even, like 3 years ago, the whole job atmosphere was completely different than what it is today.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So this is why I say that. So when I started, it's the same as like how you were saying. So when I started, you had dudes in there who were, it's crazy to say, but they wanted to be like, nah, I'm the best UPS driver, period, hands down. Ain't nobody knocking a route out like how I do. That ain't the case no more. Bruh, I get done when I get done.
Yeah.
All right? So when I come back and the day's over, that's what it is. But, though, excuse me, but that attitude of coming into work and it was a competition, like how you used to, like how you just said,
yeah.
It made you, it was just like playing sports. So it made you want to come in and be like, all right, dog, I'm about to be fire at this job.
Yeah.
So the fact that, like, because I know both of them. I know Updike and I know John Reed. So, and I know DJ Hollingsworth. I know all three of them dudes that you said. Them dudes is route murderers. So that's cool. So that means you came in here and you seen dudes that was like, I just want to murder routes like how these dudes murder routes.
I'm gonna come in and earn my stripes for sure. But I'm gonna race them OGs for sure. I gotta catch those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just like, dude, I gotta be up there. And the reason I say it's a mistake now is because when you're giving your 110%, they're gonna expect that every day and think it's just your 100%. So when you drop it down, you hurting or you tired, and you're like, oh, 80%, 90%. Now they're like, what's going on? What happened today? You're like, dude, you didn't say anything the last 5 days or 2 weeks that I just murdered that shit by 3 hours every day.
Well, I say the only reason I see some bad in it, right, is because all three of them dudes that you named all wear knee braces now.
All of them.
All of them. So you can't keep up that pace, especially, listen, I will say this. DJ Hollingsworth is probably the fastest delivery driver I've ever seen in my life. I don't know nobody doing 250 stops by 2:30. I never seen that before ever in my life.
John Reed, Updike, both of them.
Listen. DJ is different though, dog. That's listen, dog. We not gonna say it.
yeah. You good?
That's different, dog. That's a different type of work ethic.
He is.
That's a different type of speed. That's a different type of.
You gotta respect it.
Oh, I respect it for sure, but I won't do it.
No,
I won't do it. I'll do 200 by 4, but you ain't about to get me at the 2 o'clock mark.
I'll throw up.
Though I'll quit. I ain't doing that. Okay, so but those are. You did just name like 3 super vets. Them dudes been here. Them was like 30-year guys.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. Okay.
Another one I looked up to was Ron.
Ron Hunt?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All
super right. OG, super laid back.
I mess with Ron just because of Ron attitude.
Yeah, that's what
Ron attitude so dope, man. Okay.
Laid back, chill. Who was it? There was a couple other guys in there. One of the porters at Red Rock was super chill. Oh man, I can't remember his name.
Are you talking about Ronnie?
Ronnie.
Ronnie.
Yes, that's my guy.
Yes, you remember Ronnie, don't you, Booney? He was the older Hawaiian dude. He used to always
He was always out chain smoking cigarettes. Yeah, chilling.
I for sure remember Ronnie, dog. Cool as shit. Cause he did always have we'd be out there smoking cigarettes, and every time, man, Beck, that I look at you, right, even though you so young, it's crazy because when I think about being back at Red Rock in the smoking section, you was there a lot of them times, back there with us and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's so yeah. Ronnie would come out there, man, and then he would always have like OG words of wisdom and shit,
bro. Always,
all the time. Like, hey, all y'all young dudes, just calm down. Like, y'all take your time with this now. If y'all gonna really be here, you want to pace yourself. Yeah. Knees do give out.
Yeah, he put us on game.
Yeah, hips got to be replaced and all of that. Okay. Well, all right. So last question. So I want to ask you, man. So how does it feel knowing that you became a successful person in life, man? Since a lot of your life could have went many ways, man. You went from the car wash to a six-figure man in his early 20s. How does that feel?
It's still sinking in, man. Because there's all kinds of ways you can look at it. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person that I don't feel like I'm there yet, so I keep pushing for more. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like I said before, it's a sense of pride for sure. I enjoy doing it, but I don't think the successful part's kicked in yet.
It takes a while.
It does it?
It takes a while.
Because it's still like, what am I not doing? What am I doing right? What do I need to focus in on or hone in on? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's always room for improvement is my kind of attitude.
Because I will say this. It does. Your first maybe year or two, making over 100,000, is it's cool at first, but it doesn't sink in. It doesn't really hit you yet that this is about to just happen over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. So it does. I will say that is true. It does take a minute to well, this is.
Yeah, I still feel like
this is life now. I guess this is just what it is now.
I still feel like a sponge. You know what I mean? I'm still soaking everything in.
That's good.
So it's like I said, it just hasn't sinked in yet. It hasn't sunk in.
Okay. And that was going to be my last question, but I skipped one that I think is important.
Okay,
right?
What's up?
So, and this is actually a good question because, like you said, you feel like it hasn't kicked in yet, and you still feel like a sponge, and there's still a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, where do you see this job taking you in? Because a lot of people do this job and they just roll right off into the sunset, and then they just put $1 million in their 401k and they just go retire or get a nice pension and that's it. But a lot of drivers they start businesses. They they go and do they use it as a springboard to go do other things.
Right.
So how do you view that?
It's not a bad thing to try and swing for the fences, still being this young. You know what I mean? So
it's a golden opportunity.
Right. And if things don't work out and this is what I fall back on, it's not a bad gig. You know what I mean? So it's like swing for the fences. Yes, I'm going to try and use this as a stepping stone. You know what I mean? Because if I can start something and it explodes, look at our workforce.
Right.
If you started a business with as hard as we work, I don't see myself failing.
Right.
With the hours and time that I'm going to put into it.
Right. Because you're already being bred to have such a strong work ethic, such a level of determination. Because you got to have determination to get through every single day doing this.
Absolutely.
So if you go and you want to start doing something, the character traits have already been lining up for whatever it is that you want to do for it to start off at a good trajectory.
Yep.
But no like specific ideas.
No, there's some stuff in the works.
Okay.
You know, there's with the money that we make, we can invest at our leisure. Mm-hmm. And whether that takes off or not is based off of your own studying, doing your own due diligence to educate yourself on what you're investing into. You know, so that's a big one. I enjoy that.
Okay.
So investing is,
As do I. We've talked about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's fun.
Very much so.
Sometimes emotions get in the way.
Yeah. You ain't lying.
But definitely, starting something on my own is the major goal. You know, whether it's either something artistic or, you know, just something that I can piggyback off of in my time while I'm on truck. You know what I mean? So something that I can maintain while I'm on truck, still making money, doing my day-to-day job while I'm trying to start something on the side.
Right. It's a good position to be in, man, where you can, because like you said, a lot of people, when they try to go and create something for themselves, a lot of people wait till they're like in their late 40s or some shit like that. And you're in a good position, man, super young, and you're at the perfect time. You got a great career already that's been in the works, and, you know, just shit, batter up, dog.
Yep.
See if you can knock one of these motherfuckers out the park.
Yeah, because if you figure out how to do it once, you can do it again.
And over and over.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir. Well, shit. Hey, Justin, thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate it. And everybody listening to the drop-off, thank you for giving me some time to listen, man.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great time.
No problem.